Welcome to this episode of a 2003 Saturn Vue all-wheel drive. I've looked on YouTube forever. Could never find anybody doing what I just did. Nobody ever gave examples. There was here and there hit and miss type junk. But this is my 2003 Saturn Vue all-wheel drive. What we're doing today is changing the back wheel bearings. Yeah, took it to the shop. They wanted $1,208, $598 for labor to do this. And I'll tell you right now, this job, it's hell. It is hell. But I'm going to show you what I've done so far. Alright, this is what it looks like. There's your axle. And yeah, this thing does have axles in the back about 3 feet. But the thing is about the back part of your Saturn on this 03 model, there's no ABS. I made the mistake, got the new wheel bearing, and it came with the ABS. But you can just remove it. It costs more, so I don't recommend it. I'd look at your hub first. Take your hub off and look at it first. Alright, this is what we got going on. These are your brakes. The wheel bearing was so sieged that it took me just about 1 full day and a half to get it off. Because I'm not a mechanic. I've never worked on cars before, but I'm not spending $1,200 to have this done because I don't have it. So, I had to jack the car up, of course, take off the hub. Where's the hub? Ah, there it is. I had to take the hub off. Very bad shape. Very bad shape. Plus, it's like 40 degrees outside. Alright. Now, one of the first things I had to do after taking off the hub, take off this axle bolt. And it does have an axle bolt. Right there it is. Of course, you see I got it jacked up. Yeah. But I don't know, it's kind of hard to see back here, but you got your 4 bolts that hold everything in place. Your 4 bolts. They're 13 millimeter. 13 millimeter. The back axle bolt back here was a 30 millimeter. It wasn't hard at all to get off. The hub was hard to get off because the brakes had pushed up against the hub, which I tore up some of the brakes back here, and then the whole brake system fell apart, and then had to look how to put the brake system back on, which was a beast. But anyways, let me get the light on. The light's off. Okay, let me go over here and get the light on. But anyways, it was so hard because the wheel bearings on the back have never been changed. Never. Plug that in. Alright. So, let me turn this on. Alright. Sorry about the video. It's my first one. Okay, so back here, I know you can't see it, but the bolts, bolt in there, bolt there, bolt below the axle, other bolt below the axle. What I had to do was I had to drop the back end. Now, I'm a DIY guy, and dropping an ass end of a vehicle ain't me, but I had to. So I had to figure out how to do it, which is pretty simple. Pretty simple. I had real difficulty getting to the bolts. So what I had to do was I had to take the shock, had to take this off. Well, I took it off, but I realized I didn't have to, okay? So forget about that. This part down here, I had to remove part of the knuckle bolt, or whatever that is. Like I said, I don't know. But I'm just showing you how to do it because there's no videos showing you how to change the bearings in the back of an 03 Saturn Vue all-wheel drive. So I removed these bolts dropped down this part with this spring, dropped it down. I put the tire there so it could save it. So I got the bolts out. I used some PB Blaster, really good stuff, but it still didn't come unsieged. So what I did was, after I took this bolt out, this thing, this whole assembly right here, you could move up and down by itself freely. So I took my jack, and I placed it right here, and then I jacked the car down to get it onto the hub. They call it a hub buster, but it didn't work. This was all today. Yesterday I had no idea, so I had to do a bunch of research and junk, and like I said, there's no videos about an 03 Saturn about changing the back wheel bearings. It's called hub assembly, because the wheel bearings are all together in one. Here's the old one. The wheel bearings are inside it. And believe me, you don't need very many tools to do this. A 13mm, a 30mm, and then I think I used like a 5/8. Hell, I forget. It's like a, as soon as I can find my socket. No, I can't even find my socket. But anyways, so after I took off this bolt, this whole thing dropped. So I put this thing right underneath the hub part here and jacked the car down. And when I did that, I took this thing and I started beating it. Boom, 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 boom. I started beating it here, there. I mean, you can see all the marks. I mean, there's marks all the way around it where I beat it half simple. Even up here, I even accidentally busted my brake, which I know how to change the back drum brakes now. So I beat it and I beat it. I beat it really hard, and then it started moving. It went right here, and then it started moving. So I kept hitting it and hitting it and hitting it, and finally I jacked the car back down and I beat it some more. And boom, out came this. 2 days. 2 days it took me to get this thing off. Very, very pissed off, but held my temper. It was cool. Like I said, I've never did this. So you're going to have something right here to support this. Because this thing, if you don't support it, it will break your brake line. So you're supporting this thing. Like I said, I have no idea what they're called. So if you want to be harsh on me on the comments, go for it. I don't care. Because I got it off. And I'm showing you how to get it off. On how I got it off. So I'm beating it and I'm getting it off. Anyways. So now we're back to putting on the new one. This is what it looks like. Pretty thing. Pretty. And I gotta do the other side today too. Yeah. So here's your ABS. On the 03 Saturn View all-wheel drive, which that's what this is. Saturn View all-wheel drive. There is no ABS in the back. None. So I don't care who tells you or how much of a master mechanic they are, you can look. See an ABS hookup? No. Do you see ABS in there? No. Do you see anything on the axle? No. See that one of the holes for the bolt is down there? Right down. I can't really do it, but it's right down there. Yeah, I know this is an awful video, but oh well. I'm showing you how to get it off. So you jack your car up, you get your hub off. If you can't get your hub off, which I couldn't, so I had to keep taking a screwdriver. You see all my marks on my brakes. I actually popped this thing out. I mean, it was all a mess, a real big mess. But I had to take 2 screwdrivers and a hammer. And what I did was, I put the screwdriver in between the hub and this thing, and I kept prying and prying all the way around. All the way around. And then I took a hammer and I started hitting the back part of the hub. Boom, 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 boom. Finally got it off. Yeah. So we did all that. So now I showed you how to take off your back rear wheel bearing hub assembly. And this thing that I bought was $75.99 with the ABS. It's about $65, $68 without the ABS. Which on an 03 Saturn Vue, you don't need the ABS in the back. Remember that. So now I'm going to reassemble it. And hopefully it's going to work out. It's going to go smooth. Oh, another thing. Okay, this is one of the reasons why it was sieged in there. You see this stuff right here? That's why. All this stuff in there. All this rust. Hope you can see it alright. But yeah, all that rust inside there. So all you have to do is get you some sandpaper and a rag, and then you're going to clean this sucker out. Got to get it all nice. You don't want to put your new one in there with a bunch of rust because you'll have the same problems. The noise this thing was making whenever I was driving it, it was kind of like a grinding noise, but it got louder and louder the faster I went. And I thought it was my tires. Wasn't the tires. The reason why I know this is because I went from a gravel pavement to a smooth pavement, and the noise didn't shift. It stayed the same, and it got louder. And then I started hearing a womp, 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 womp sound going on. So both of my back wheel bearings are bad. This thing ain't never had the back bearings changed, so it was hard to get off. If you're going to do it yourself, I recommend watching this video over. Do exactly what I said. You got the 4 bolts. Right here's the front part where the bolts come this way. And it latches up against there. This is your axle. Inside here is where you have to clean. You have to clean all that out. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. These are your brakes. This is a hydraulic thing or whatever it is. Like I said, if you want to post comments and tell me how wrong I am on my terminology, I don't care. Don't care. I've never did this before in my life. I'm a musician. I don't work on cars. I don't like to, but we bought this Saturn Vue. It's a nice vehicle. Really nice. We've taken it probably about 6,000-7,000 miles already. Very comfortable. It's a really cool vehicle. Fits all my equipment in there. Amps, drums, keyboards. Yeah, we play in a metal band called Dying Man's Breath. And you can look us up on Facebook. Kind of heavy. Well, actually real heavy. But I showed you how to do it. This is for the 03 Saturn Vue all-wheel drive. So now we're going to hopefully get it in place, and then I'm going to show you. After I get it all cleaned up and put the new wheel bearing assembly in, we'll come back to you. Alright, later.